So you are thinking about buying or building a house in North Georgia. Great choice. Just a heads up, your biggest obstacle might not be finding the piece of property you want or finding the right house on Zillow or the MLS or something like that. It might just come down to the price of lumber or drywall. Why do I say that? Well, thanks to tariffs, supply chains, and a little bit of good old-fashioned economic chaos, let's just say the housing market is getting interesting. Today we're unpacking why finding your dream house in North Georgia may cost a little bit more money than expected, but you know what? It may not all be doom and gloom, so buckle up and enjoy the ride. We're going to talk about tariffs today. Hey buddy, my name is Tim Gibson and my channel is all about North Georgia real estate. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And if you are curious about purchasing a house or land in North Georgia, or if you're thinking about listing your home in the area, please reach out. Like I said, my contact info is on the screen. All right, so regardless of your political affiliation or wherever you fall on the spectrum politically, we all know that the new administration that came in, President Trump, he's implemented a lot of tariffs, or at least talked about implementing a lot of tariffs the first part of 2025. Whether you're for tariffs or against them, we've all seen that the tariff talk has sort of wreaked havoc on the stock market. It's been like a roller coaster for quite some time in 2025. The housing market and the rest of the economy is trying to figure out what to do with all of this new information. So now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about how it's affecting the housing market in North Georgia. All right, so first in this video, we're gonna be talking about rising construction costs, and that's gonna affect just about every part of the housing market, whether you are buying land and building a house, you're buying a new construction home in a neighborhood that's being developed, or if you're renovating your house. Recent tariffs on imported construction materials, we're talking things like lumber from Canada, gypsum from Mexico, which is used in the production of drywall, which is in just about every house in the country, and steel and aluminum from China. All of those combined, all those tariffs combined have caused building construction costs to just increase dramatically. According to some estimates, these tariffs have increased the average cost of building a home in the United States from somewhere around $9,000 to upwards of $22,000 in the US. So unfortunately, what seems to be happening, again, whether you're for tariffs or if you're against them, all of this cost ends up getting passed down to the home buyer. So if you're thinking about buying a home, especially new construction, or if you're doing remodeling, or if you're gonna buy land to build, like I mentioned earlier, you could expect those costs to be a little bit more expensive, or maybe a lot more expensive depending on your price point than maybe a year or two ago. So next we're going to be talking about affordability, and tariffs are just a part of the equation. I totally understand that. We have a lot of inflation left over from COVID. We've got housing prices that are still high from COVID, and prices don't seem to be coming down, and I think tariffs are really only exacerbating that fact. One interesting stat that kind of highlights this in a way is the average age of first-time home buyers. In 2023, the average age of first-time home buyers was 35 years old. Now it's up to 38. So people are like almost middle-aged by the time they're buying their first house, at least on average in the US, which is kind of surprising. We can see this in lack of affordable housing in different areas, especially in North Georgia, where in parts of North Georgia, Dawsonville, Dahlonega, we're talking Gainesville, some of these places, you can't even really find a double wide trailer for less than $300,000. Builders seem to be facing some thinner profit margins on those lower priced homes, which naturally makes it not worth it to them to build those type of homes. And so again, these first-time home buyers are struggling to find their first house. I'm seeing this firsthand as well with first-time home buyers shopping around for homes in North Georgia. There's not a ton of inventory, and what inventory is available for those first-time home buyers seem to be not really great options. You're looking at sometimes trailers, and you're looking at houses that need a lot of work, and you really are having a hard time finding those move-in ready type houses for first-time home buyers. So what seems to be happening, at least locally, and this may be happening in other parts of the country, I'm not sure, but builders seem to be focusing on higher end properties where their profit margins are a little higher, or a completely different business model altogether. We're seeing builders, and we're actually seeing this in Dawsonville, Dawson County, Georgia, where my office is located. Builders and developers are developing these massive communities that look like your standard single family communities with all the amenities and houses all over the place. And they're building those where every single house is a rental and is not for sale. So that's kind of surprising, and folks that are in Dawson County are kind of causing an uproar about this, and they're going, what is happening here? Why are we having all these rental communities pop up? Another way that the tariffs can affect the housing industry is supply chain disruptions. When builders are planning out projects or they're developing neighborhoods, they want to manage their costs as much as possible. And with all the uncertainty going on with building material costs through the tariffs, I mean, we've all seen the stock market has just been whiplash just about day to day for about 3 months. It's hard for builders to sort of project what the cost of these materials are going to be into the future. So that is causing some disruptions in the new construction market as well. So to illustrate my point about how tariffs or how the broader economy is affecting the housing market in North Georgia and beyond, I read an article recently that said March of 2025 was the slowest month for home sales since 2009. We all know what happened in 2009, the Great Recession. The article goes on to say that existing home sales fell 5.9% from February of 25 to March of 25. Part of the reason why this slowdown was so drastic in March of 25 was partly due to high interest rates on mortgages, and those have been stubbornly high for quite some time. Home prices have stayed high. We still have a low inventory here in North Georgia. Part of the reason why we're seeing such a slowdown in March of 2025 in existing home sales is due to high interest rates. The interest rates for mortgages have been stubbornly high, hovering around that 7% range for quite some time. And the median sales price of homes is not really falling. It's around $400,000, and that's in the entire US. So all of those factors combined, the tariffs, the building costs, all of this stuff, the mortgage rates and the home prices, just causing people to kind of sit on the sidelines. And really, maybe a different way to look at it is that nobody really likes uncertainty. And when you are going to spend a lot of money on something, probably the most money you'll spend on anything, which is your house, and you don't really know what's going on in the economy, then you know what? Maybe just wait and just kind of see what happens and see how things shake out. And I'm seeing that a lot locally in North Georgia. So what does that mean for us in North Georgia? How is all this affecting us? We've seen kind of some of the short-term effects. Is it going to have a long-term effect? Should you wait to buy a house? Should you wait to list your house? All those things remain to be seen. So please reach out if you are thinking about moving to the area. I'd be happy to help. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.